Those who have raised dragons all know that taming dragons is extremely difficult. However, this giant dragon was one I picked up from the mountain forest. Originally, I thought this was just an ordinary chicken egg, but after my daily incubation, a young dragon actually hatched from the shell. Looking at the adorable young dragon, I couldn't help but reach out to touch it. However, the moment I made contact with the young dragon, a flash of white light suddenly appeared. When I regained consciousness, I found the young dragon lying obediently in my arms. At that moment, my palm suddenly felt a sharp pain, and I discovered with horror that a mysterious mark had appeared on my palm. Looking at the small, frail young dragon, I quickly brought it some milk, but I discovered that this dragon was actually a carnivorous animal. Watching the gradually growing young dragon, I decided to teach it to fly. With my help, the young dragon gradually soared toward the clouds. Just then, my palm felt another sharp pain, and the mark on my hand glowed with an eerie light. When I looked up at the sky, I was shocked to discover that the originally small dragon had grown into a giant dragon in just a few minutes. The transformed giant dragon circled once in the sky before charging toward me. Accompanied by a piercing roar, the giant dragon landed in front of me. Looking at the rapidly growing dragon, I felt extremely shocked. But just then, a voice sounded in my ear.
I have waited 1,000 years to hear your thoughts, and now you can hear mine. I am Saphira, and you are my rider.
Rider?
With the dragon's birth, the king began using the method of killing civilians to search for the dragon's whereabouts. However, when I rushed back, I discovered that my father had already been killed. Looking at my father's corpse, I felt deeply saddened. Suddenly, a man appeared before me. He held a torch and set the thatched cottage on fire, then took me away from there. After a brief conversation, I discovered that his palm also bore the same mark as mine. He told me that if I wanted revenge, I must first make myself strong. Then he began teaching me how to control the giant dragon. Under his careful guidance, I quickly mastered the ability to fly on dragonback. As I continuously chanted incantations, my eyes began to turn red, allowing me to share vision with the dragon. But soon I discovered that 2 men in black were attacking my master. So I immediately rode the giant dragon charging into the forest. But just then, one of the men in black pounced from above, dragging me down from the dragon's back. The giant dragon also accidentally crashed into a nearby tree branch and fell heavily to the ground.